In this episode, we're gonna talk about how to have a conversation with a patient efficiently. We also talk about how to end a conversation with a patient politely. Knowing tricks to facilitate effective and efficient conversations with patients are very important. I precept nurse practitioner students, and one of the difficulty that they experience, and I also experienced as a nurse practitioner student back in the day, was to take a history from patients in a timely manner. As a student, you want to be polite to patients as much as possible, and a lot of patients are very excited to talk to students, so some patient may end up sharing a life story with student. And although getting to know patient is very important, but something to keep in mind for students and new grad nurse practitioners are that unfortunately there are time constraints. Other patients are waiting. We have to make everybody happy. You don't want to end up taking a long time talking to one patient while other patients are waiting impatiently because they've been waiting for a long time. And for practicing nurse practitioners, this is even more critical because you are expected to see so many patients per day, and also to build a trust relationship with patient. You have to make sure that you're efficient because patient may get upset that they always wait long time to be seen by you. And remember also you need time to document so that you can go home on time. So having efficient conversation with a patient is critical for time management for nurse practitioners. So in this episode, I'm going to share 4 tips to have efficient conversation with patients while making them feel heard. Let's get into it. Aloha, I'm Miki Miura, a family nurse practitioner in Hawaii. I've been a nurse practitioner for 10 years, and I absolutely love being a nurse practitioner and the lifestyle that Korea has given me. My passion is mentoring nurse practitioner students and new grad nurse practitioners to build amazing careers so that they can have the freedom of choice on what they want to do and how they want to live. All right, let's get into it. In this episode, I'm going to share 4 tips to have efficient and effective conversation with a patient. Like I said in the beginning, one of the difficulties that I experienced as a nurse practitioner student was to end a conversation in a timely manner, but also continue to be polite. Some patients love talking, and sometimes it takes extra time. As a student, you want to be polite, so you don't know how to end a conversation in a polite way and end up with backed up schedule. But we want to make sure you get enough information for the chief complaint the patient had. Also, they feel heard and cared. So it is definitely a difficult balance. Depending on clinical setting, you may only have 5 to 10 minutes or even less to take a history from one patient. If you are nurse practitioner students or new grad nurse practitioners, I would ask your preceptors or supervisor how long you are expected to spend for history taking, just so that you have some idea of how much you're supposed to spend time to talking to patients. First tip is to redirect conversation. Sometimes when you ask question related to chief complaint, but patient started to talk about something else and the conversation started to divert to a different direction, then you have to help to correct the direction if it's not related to chief complaint or their medical concerns. So let's say you asked about medical history and a patient started to talk about some stories that are completely irrelevant to her past medical history. Then you may say, I see. Now let's get back to the gallbladder surgery you mentioned. What year did you have the surgery? Another example would be you try to clarify some point, but patient started to give you a long story and you're not too sure what the answer really is. In that case, I may say, wow, that sounds like a lot. Now, can I qualify? Did you actually take the medicine or you were planning to take the medicine, but when you went to a pharmacy, they didn't have the medication or they didn't get prescription, so you couldn't pick up the medicine, so you end up not taking the medicine. Some people might use anyway, anywho, but I personally don't really prefer those words just because I feel like patient may feel we are disregarding their story, which we don't want them to feel. So I prefer to use I see or wow, so they can see that I'm accepting their story, but we want to move on to the right direction. Second tip is to use words, phrases, and gestures to signal that our conversation is ending. First word is all right. For example, you may say, all right, so let's try the birth control Lutera. See if your period's gonna get regulated. I'll see you in 3 months. The second word is well. For example, you may say, well, I'm so glad to see you today. I hope the antibiotic will work for you. I'll see you in 3 months. You can also use gestures to signal that we're ending the conversation. For example, you can slowly stand up to show that you are getting out of the room because you gotta go. You can also put your hand on the doorknob so you can show that you're inching your way to the door. I hope you are enjoying this episode. Before we go back, I want to quickly mention that I'm giving a gift to you for listening to this episode. I'm giving a free PDF nurse practitioner job interview prep checklist. This checklist is full of questions that you're likely to be asked during job interviews as a nurse practitioner and some tips on how to prepare for them. With this downloadable PDF, you can prepare for interviews well so you feel confident and stand out from other candidates to get the job that you really want. To get this free PDF nurse practitioner job interview prep checklist, you can go to usa.jnpproject.com/interview. Again, usa.jnpproject.com/interview. Now let's get back to the episode. Third tip is to get a help from your colleagues. If you know that a patient loves to chat, you can tell your colleagues such as medical assistant, hey, can you knock the door in 10 minutes or whatever minute? You can have your colleagues knock the door and say, Miki, your next patient is ready. Then you can say, I'm so sorry, but it looks like I have to go. But call me if you have any questions. I'll see you in 3 months. Take care. Or you can have your colleagues say, Miki, we need you. Can you come out soon, please? Then you can tell your patient, I'm so sorry. It was nice to talk to you, but it looks like I have to go. But if you have any other questions, you can schedule telehealth or I'll see you in 3 months. Instead of having your colleagues knock the door, you can also have them call your cell phone. You do have to carry a cell phone with you when you're seeing a patient. And when you get a call, you can tell your patient, excuse me, I have to take this call, but call us if you have any questions. I'll see you in 3 months. Of course, you're actually talking something very relevant and important, then you should stay and listen to your patient and continue the conversation. But if you're having non-essential conversation with a patient and you know that other patients are waiting for you, this is a good trick to use. Fourth tip is to schedule another appointment. I learned this trick over the years, and this is my 11th year to work as a nurse practitioner, so it took a while to acquire this skill because I always felt like I have to satisfy a patient, I have to answer all the questions they have. If they have 100 concerns, then I have to address it right there and then. But in the reality, you may have only 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or 20 minutes to address for that patient for that day. So prioritization is very important. I also always ask patients, do you have any other concern before I leave the room, to make sure that patients feel they are heard and they have opportunity to voice their concerns and questions. But let's say you really need to get to the next patient and the concerns or questions the patient had is not urgent, then you can say, I see. let's schedule another appointment. Can you come back tomorrow or next week? I would like to address this issue. This is very important. I want to make sure that we have enough time to address your questions and concerns. In this case, you are scheduling another appointment to address the additional concerns that patient just voiced. And patient don't feel like you dismiss their concerns or questions, which is very important. And most patients understand you have very busy schedules and appreciate that you are very conscious about time for them and other patients. If patients come with a long list of questions and concerns, then I would say, okay, I understand. I want to make sure we address all questions and concerns you have. But unfortunately, we have limited time today. If you have to pick 3 concerns out of these, which one would you choose? And we can schedule another appointment to address the rest of your concern, because I want to make sure that we have enough time to address each concerns appropriately. By having patients to choose which concerns they want to address first, they feel like they are in control, therefore their satisfaction will increase. So instead of me telling them, okay, out of these, let's address these 3 and then the rest will do it the next time, I'll have them choose which one they want to address first, unless there is certain thing that is absolutely urgent and important to be addressed right now. I hope this episode was helpful for you. If you like this episode, give me a thumbs up and make sure to follow our channel. We upload a new episode every week. Also, if you have any other tips that you can share with us, please write down in the comment section. All right, I'll see you in the next episode. Aloha.